Thanks for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. You can find us wherever you find podcasts or listen to music. When you have an opportunity, please give us a 5-star review, write a little note, tell us how we're doing. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep this thing going. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us at Facebook at Hidden Tracks. Instagram is at HiddenTracks99, and if you'd like to send in submissions or talk to us or give us any feedback about what we're doing, our email is myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show.
I was born in the back of a Greyhound bus with a pack of smokes in my right ear. Never had no chance, I never had no luck. Well, the fear revered, honey, the damned. This radio echoes with the sound of the rain. They're calling out a winner's name. Now these days, they get longer till the month of May. This life's a lesson, a foolish game. Life's a lesson, a fool's game. Down the street, all these lights flicker and fade. You see Romeo left Juliet. Lay it all out on the line tonight, and you're broken down, stock 58. This radio echoes with the sound of the rain.
Today, I'm very happy to have Sammy Kay. He is an artist of many talents. I'm not going to sit here and label anything he does because he's a part of a bunch of awesome shit, but his solo career is what brought me to his music. So very excited to have you here. Welcome to the show, Sammy.
Thanks for having me. I'm always stoked to talk to anybody from fucking Morris County, you know?
Yeah, I'm originally and currently live in Passaic, but Morris County is where I have my
Close
business.
enough.
Yeah, I have opened a record store / music venue in Boonton, New Jersey, back in June 1st of this year. So,
Dude,
yeah,
that's huge. There was nothing like we had so I grew up like around the corner, like a mile, 2 miles away. And there was nothing besides there were sometimes shows at the Boot and Elks Lodge around the corner from the shop. And we could do Folly, and that Tokyo Rose would always play the Rockaway. There was a church in Rockaway, but that was it.
So you know Tokyo Rose?
That's Ryan, right?
Yeah, and I'm friends with Chris Paulson, the bass player.
I know of Chris Paulson, but I don't so Ryan, when I was a kid, I worked for this band called Westbound Train.
Okay.
And Obi was a Jersey Shore guy, but at the time was living in Bloomfield. And Ryan and Obi were in cahoots when I was maybe 15 or 16. So I'd go see Tokyo Rose with Obi whenever they played like, Bloomfield Ave or,
Yeah.
there was a girl that lived up the block that lived at those Rockaway Church shows, and I would just always go because she was the cutest fucking thing in the world. And I was 14, and I was like, "Oh, you like punk? I like punk. Let's go," But yeah,
Yeah, it's awesome. And Tokyo Rose just announced a reunion, two reunions.
2019, dude.
Yeah,
13 what is that record called? 13 Legs.
I think so.
The drummer's got he lost a leg or something like that. So that there's not 14 legs. He's got only one leg. Yeah.
But yeah. So now there is a place in Morris County. So you ever come back,
that's huge. I'll come home and play a show.
Nice.
I won't ever argue coming home.
Yeah, I'll take you up on that, man. My stage is your stage. That's why I built it. I built it for, people like you and musicians to have a safe, fucking awesome place to come play and hang out. And it's just got like this awesome vibe where like the focus is on the music. Like no one's not paying attention to it.
And it's all ages too?
Yeah, it's all ages, and we're a BYO. It's it's a record store almost of the ilk that like Vintage Vinyl had their space. You remember Vintage Vinyl down in Ford's?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So Vintage Vinyl's closed now, so it was like we're missing that record store that you can have a live music venue in. So I built a stage and sound, and like I just did it proper, so we can like you can come in, buy some records, and we fucking play some music. That
rules. Yeah. That's awesome.
But enough about me. Let's start talking. I mean, July you dropped an album. You also just recently with your other band Kilograms just dropped a couple songs and a short EP. And I mean, there's so much going on in your life right now. I mean, so
dude, it's dumb. It's so fucking dumb. Like just the things that are happening in like my like home life are ridiculous. Not to like on top of like Kilograms EP in February, July 1960 started, like the first couple songs started coming out in May. I did a lot of work on Joe Gittleman's record, a couple songs on that record, and that was June. That came out in June. July 1960 came out in July. Kilogram 7-inch got announced a couple weeks ago, and I think it's out digitally, but like it's not in record stores yet. I think the distro date for that is Friday.
All right.
And then I'm in hell right now, lovingly hell, writing and recording the Kilograms full length. Like we started it, we did basic tracking 2 weeks ago, like in the middle of the tour, we ripped 15 songs in 3 days.
Wow.
And now I'm like at home, trying to get everything overdubbed. And then, we go and finish it in Jersey at the studio with Pete from the Souls. Pete Steinkoff in Asbury next month. I'm saying next month, in 3 weeks. So I got 3 weeks to write and track a record,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a bonkers year for music. And I'm real grateful. My girlfriend's old, her old man, I saw him recently. I was like, "Hey man, it's good to see you." And he turned to me and said, "It's good to be seen." It's real good to be able to make music and people seem to be listening to it right now. Like the numbers on streaming are better than they've ever been in 20 years of playing music.
Wow.
Like the Kilograms record on 1960 and the Kilograms has as much streams as my first full length record. And they're both been out they both got about 25,000 streams in a couple months each.
Can you place your finger on anything that you can attribute that to, or just that it's?
We've always done well selling records, but streaming has never been good. The Kilograms records are doing well. We're on the third pressing of the first EP, and the 7-inch is there's like 10 copies left, and I'm sure they're gonna. We announce tomorrow, which would be the 25th. We're playing with the Murphys in Boston for St. Patrick's Day. So I'm assuming that the last 20 copies of that are going to sell tomorrow.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I've never done well streaming. Like 4th Street only has 55 or 60,000 streams total in 10 years. Um, but something happened this year where people are like listening to. I know I got a couple songs got sucked in the algorithm, which is rad. But yeah, I have no idea. I'm 35 in a midlife crisis ska band, and I have a midlife crisis tour van, and I want a flying V, and people are listening to my band after I said fuck this, I'm done.
That's
You
what.
know?
Well, and I think a lot of times you can attribute sometimes just your success and stuff to not giving a fuck anymore. I think when you push too hard and you put too much into it and you're looking for something to come back, it never does. But as soon
That's
as you don't, it's when it's like, oh shit, here you go.
dude. That's been my whole mentality about music for the last. I moved out of California and found myself in Cincinnati in 3 years ago, just about 2.5 years ago. And I said, I'm playing by my own rules. I'm not playing by other people's rules. I'm not doing this shit. Like, I do what I want to do when I want to do it. And I'll write when I want, and I'll record when I want, and I'll put out things when I want. And it's not like the whole point of making music is that you get to make music and it's fun. And I kind of said, like, once it feels like work, I'm out.
Listen, I'm 1,000% there with you. It was kind of the same thing that when I started the show many years ago, it was, people are like, I think it's really cool that like you don't have commercials, you don't like sell out to anything. And I said, the problem is if I ever do that, and yeah, it could be for, some kind of selfish things, but like then it becomes work
Yeah.
because I have to have commercials. I have to have this. I have to have a certain amount of downloads. Then it's work. Then it's a fucking job. And then it's no longer fun for me. Then
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, man, I got to do this interview. I got to do this interview. I got to do this interview. I got to get it done. And I got to make sure it's a certain length. And I got to make sure I get a certain amount of downloads. I got to and then you're just you're stressed out. I mean, I wouldn't be 217 episodes in if I was stressed out about doing
Yeah.
it.
No.
You know what I mean?
Like this year, I played 13 shows. It's October.
Yeah.
Like I usually do 13 shows by the second week of January, third week of January. I don't want to do it. I want to do what I want to do. And like, it is the funnest fucking thing. Like,
well, it means more,
dude,
when you actually do it.
It means more. And it's wild because like, I'm not cherry picking. Like I took a show the other day in Cincinnati, a band canceled. They had a voice thing, like just a local show 3 days before. Cause I was like, yeah, I feel like playing my guitar this week. Like, it's not like I'm like a lot of bands will be like, oh, we're only doing support tours, or like, I only want to plug in my guitar if there's fucking 500 people. They're like, no, like I want to do what I want, like, cause when you do what you want, you have fun, like I played a show 2 months ago. I didn't even plug in an acoustic guitar solo. I played it all on a Telecaster with a heavy tremolo and delay on, and it was weird and swelly, and I had so much fun, and everybody hated it, but I had so much fucking fun, like, and it was a cool set. Like, I'm not mad about it,
Yeah,
just
and I don't think people necessarily hated it. I think they just I don't when people go to watch music, a lot of times they're scared of what they don't know, right? So if somebody does something different or changes something up, they're like, "Man, that sucked." When it's like, "No, they did something different. That needs to be appreciated and be like, "Yeah, you may never see that again." Like unless it's, someone getting up on stage, falling down drunk and can't fucking play a song and pissing themselves. That's a whole different, scenario being different.
that was me 12 years ago, my friend. uh,
Well, why don't we go back to the beginning of life when music's kind of, being in this New Jersey realm when it kind of started to take a hold on you? Like, did you grow up with a musical background? Did you have music constantly around, in family life and things like that? Or was it just something that came natural?
it's a little bit of everything. I mean, we can talk. You're from the area, so we can really talk about it, and you'll get it. My family ran theater companies in Morris County and in Passaic, and they ran the Women's Theater Company. My grandmother and my grandfather. My grandmother ran the Parsippany Playhouse for years. So theater was always a thing. My aunt is an actress from the area that, uh, you know, fuck. I mean, she was on 30 Rock and Kimmy Schmidt, and she did Broadway, and she's hosting that show now that's on Fox with Randy Jackson, the music one.
Yeah.
Name that tune, Jane. My aunt Jane,
Yeah.
Jane Krakowski.
Yeah.
Um,
I wasn't gonna name drop. I was
oh,
gonna
you're fine.
name drop your aunt.
I think this is the first time I've ever actually like mentioned this in a podcast or an interview. Like I keep my last name like real secret. And my father was a punk and didn't necessarily do theater, and played in a punk rock band in the early 80s and had a garage band in the 90s. And he was a graphic designer that helped, like he was in the area at Kraft and Nabisco, and like helped rebrand macaroni and cheese and Oreos in the 90s, late 90s. Like my mother's a quilter. My older brother's a photography professor. He's got a couple of masters in different kinds of photography.
Wow.
So art in my family is just bleeding. And it's always been there. Like I just got a zip drive as a kid of like all of us on Christmas singing Beatles songs that I didn't remember. Like I was real little. I was 2 or 3. And, but music, like my house, if like, again, Northern New Jersey, like we weren't allowed to watch TV on Sundays. We listened to FMU, you know, like from Reggae Schoolroom to Greasy Kid Stuff to Jonesy and X-Ray Burns, to, God, what's her name? She's got the voice of an angel. She had this beautiful country song, like
Alison Krauss.
What's that?
Alison Krauss?
No. She's like kind of a local woman that is still a country singer, but she had a country show playing like 1940s and 50s country. But just it was always on music, and my father, and I do it now with my girlfriend's kiddo. Like we don't get out of the car until if that song is on, like you finish the song.
Yeah.
You know, like so as a kid, my folks were always super supportive of it. And once my older brother likes punk and whatnot when we were kids, and once we all realized we liked music, like I started going to Bloomfield Ave, I was like 9 or 10. My brother was 11 or 12. Like we'd go to skate and surf. We do Warped Tours.
Wow.
We would go see like when Blink-182 played Lenny Lenape or Green Day played up there. We went up there. Like, but my folks realized that like Bloomfield Ave and Hamilton Street were these safe, and like the Rockaway Church and the Boot and Elks, Wayne Firehouse.
Yeah. Skaters World. Yeah.
I was too young for Skaters World.
Oh, okay.
Like I never got to do Skaters World, and that's kind of like a weird punk rock regret. Or like the Garfield Firehouse. We would go, like, I remember being 12 or 13, and Parsippany to Bloomfield wasn't that far. My parents like would throw some guff about Hamilton Street or like taking us to Asbury Park.
Well, yeah, that's
and dropping us off, but like my dad would come to it. Like my dad still like we just played a festival. My dad got on a plane and like flew to see the show. You know, like
that's support.
Yeah, he hasn't. I don't think he's seen me play guitar live in 10 years. But it was I don't know, here nor there. But like he would take us, like he would like scour the internet before we'd go to skate and surf and be like, you need to check out this band. You should check out this band. Like like when the Descendants played skate and surf, I was like, I'm done. And I'm like 11. He's like, no.
Oh no.
We're watching the Descendants.
I flew to fucking Colorado to see him. So
yeah, I've flown around the country too to see them at this point. Like any chance they play, really if all plays, I'm going to try and go.
Yeah.
But like I got to, like, he made it a point, like, and he was real wild too, because like he never pushed anything that you needed to discover, right? Like he never told me to listen to the Replacements, right?
Yeah.
Like he was like, you're fucking dumb. You like Rancid. Why aren't you listening to Joe Strummer and or The Clash? You know?
It's the same, but it's different, you know?
Yeah, like he knew that, like we were listening to Rancid and he was listening to Rancid too. You know, like, but he like, and he was like, you should be listening to The Clash. But like there's stuff like The Replacements, He never really pushed like he never pushed Springsteen on us. And he was always like, you'll find it, or Tom Petty, like he was always like, you'll find it when you're ready to find it,
Yeah, you got to be, I have that conversation all the time with people, like, especially growing up in Jersey, when they're like, oh, Springsteen, you got to be. I'm like, listen, man, yeah, when you're born, they hand you a fucking copy of like fucking Born to Run or whatever. I'm like, but when you're a 12-year-old kid, Springsteen doesn't mean anything to you because he's not singing to you. He's singing to the 35 to 45-year-old version of you. And you're not ready for him.
Yeah. I think this Springsteen thing is like, you married, you in a relationship?
Yeah, I am married.
All right. So you know that feeling when like you first laid eyes on your partner, and you're like you first catch that smile, and there's that weird feeling in your gut where you're like, oh shit, this is the rest of my life. Right?
Yep.
Like that same thing applies to Springsteen or the Replacements. At least in my life, where like you'll hear it when you're ready to hear it. And when you hear it, it will change your fucking life. You know what I mean? And like, for me, that was like, I was young. I listened to Nebraska. I think I was like 19 on the road. I was somewhere in Indiana driving home from, I don't remember if the show was in Cincinnati or Dayton, but it was like around where I live now. We dropped off the singer at his girlfriend's house in Lima, Ohio, a couple hours north here. And then we drove back to Brooklyn. And I remember putting it on that night and like losing my fucking shit. And it was like the first time I actively heard like Mansion on the Hill or like State Trooper. And I was just like, I think I listened to it for 10 hours and that was it. I was done. And then like I went to Darkness. It just kind of happens.
Yeah.
But, and my old man would always go see Springsteen. He was one of those guys like, fuck yeah, I'm going, But like, yeah, but back to the question, like the house was always musical, supportive. Like when I started playing in bands, we needed to make t-shirts, and like my mom figured out how to silkscreen. She's like, oh, I silkscreen in college. Let's just buy a kit.
How old were you when you started to create bands?
I was like 12. I got my first guitar. My first like not piece of shit guitar, and it was still a piece of shit. I was like 11, and I got my first Telecaster at 12.
Okay.
And like my dad had a Les Paul, and there was a Strat in the house, and there was a 335, and there was a J45. But like I got my Telecaster that's still on the road with me today. It's unrecognizable, but like the only thing left is the body. New neck, new pickups, new everything at this point. New paint, 2 paint jobs later. I got a Telecaster when I was 12, and that's when this kid up the block, who last I heard was running the Meat Locker in Montclair.
Oh, wow.
Danny, he got a J bass and I got a P bass like the same week. Or I got a Telecaster the same week. And we just started playing music.
What was it? What'd you guys name your band?
Oh my God, they were all fucking dumb. The first one was the Heebie Jeebies, but we like spelled it like CBGBs. Like HGBG. And that was short lived. And then the next thing that I was actively gigging, I was like 14 or 15, like actually gigging, was a band called The Developments. And it was like, at that point I was like fully ingrained in like the Bloomfield Avenue, Hamilton Street ska scene. And we were gigging, and that's how I ultimately like met Westbound Train and met the Hub City Stompers and like got in the fucking van. And inevitably met like I was going on Asbury Park a lot. Like I'd met Jen at the Lanes, and like I knew that place was my home. And I realized like Asbury was where I wanted to be, I'd met the Slackers around then too, like Vic Ruggiero in particular. But like Obi from Westbound and Nuno from HCS and Vic were real welcoming. And
Asbury was much different back then too than how.
What's that?
Asbury was much different back then to where it is now. So
yeah, I mean, it was 05, 06 maybe. Like it was way different. but it wasn't like when I started going to Asbury with my dad, like he took us to see the Souls at the casino skate park, and like I watched that man pull a switchblade and walk us to the door. And that was 99 maybe or 2000.
Yeah.
Um and but '06 it was like starting to be like I was looking over my shoulder. Like I didn't stop looking over my shoulder in Asbury until like 2012.
See, I was going to say 14. That
But I
2014 was
in
when
that
I
in that,
started to be like feel comfortable being down there, especially in the wintertime during
I fucking love the wintertime down there. And that period, like, so I moved to LA in like '09, 2010, something like that. So there was like a good 3 years, and on top of like '07, '08, '09, I was doing like 300 shows a year on the road with like working for bands and playing in bands. That like there was a blur where like I was home for 3 or 4 weeks a year, 5 weeks a year,
Yeah.
and like Asbury started changing then, and Jersey as a whole, like that, like Hamilton Street had already closed, Bloomfield Ave had already closed, and like the Lanes was kind of the place. So anytime I was home, I was down there. And then I like showed back up in like 2014, 2013, late 2013, and it was like Disneyland,
Yeah.
And then I moved back out of Jersey in 18, late 18, something like that, mid 18, and I still don't live. I haven't moved back. Um, but like I'm still in expat mode. And like we just spent a week in Asbury, like playing some shows in the area and making a record, and like it's unrecognizable. And I want to say it's for the better, but deep down it's for the worse,
Yeah, some of the mystique is gone now of
Dude,
what.
I threw a cigarette butt on the ground, and I felt like somebody ran up behind me and picked it up and threw it in the trash. Like, have you ever been to Salt Lake City?
No.
It's like uncomfortably clean, like Disneyland. And it's got this weird vibe. Like you feel like you're being watched. And that's like how I felt, especially like I've been back a lot in the last, like July, I was there for 4 days, and I spent about, 8 days in the area. It definitely, it has that vibe, but also like fucking, that's how it is, things change.
Yeah.
But
So when you're coming up and you're listening to music and you're starting to go and do these things and dad's taking you places, was there like, one specific moment or one band that you like attached yourself to right away that was just kind of pulled you in and made you want to be a part of something? Like one band that you were listening to or artist that you were like, fuck, this is kind of what I want to do with my life.
In band sense, I weirdly lucked out, and like I love Obi from Westbound, and I love Vic from the Slackers, and like what they were doing, like what the Slackers were doing and what Westbound was doing, and like what the Hub City Stompers were doing too, like that weird camaraderie family thing. Like I wanted to be a part of that, and I inevitably got to be in or work for those bands for the better part of 10 years,
Yeah.
Like I started with HCS, and then I got linked with Westbound, and then I left Westbound, and then I was like touring on my own, and then I ended up getting a job working for the Slackers and playing in all of their side bands as well. Like Vic is a huge part of my story because he, as well as like Jay and Ara and Marcus and Dave and Glenn, like that whole crew made me realize that the world is a lot bigger than punk rock or ska.
Mm-hmm.
And Vic's approach to songwriting, and both solo and with the Slacks, and Dave's nerdiness of jazz, and Marcus's love for weird shit, and Tom Waits and Ara's love for new wave, like those dudes fucking shaped, like if grooming was a positive thing, like those dudes groomed me into that sounded terrible. If grooming was a positive thing, those dudes helped open my eyes to the world, within music. Like, and I think those years, like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, right? 18 to 24, I learned so much from like dudes that I thought were my heroes. Like dudes that sounded horrible too. Dudes I looked up to became family, you know? And then coming out of that, like we were watching Gaslight blow the fuck up. And Fallon and all those dudes, Fallon, Benny, Big Alex, Little Alex, right? They were all Rockaway. Like they all worked at the mall.
Yep.
And like we got to watch those dudes go from basements to selling out every room in the fucking country. And then like I immediately came out of working for the Slackers, and we had this Gaslight tour on the plate, you know? And there was a lot of those dudes, like that's the glory of New Jersey, is that like the dude that worked at Journeys that sold you your Vans was also years later in a band that blew the fuck up. Like that's the glory of the Jersey music scene, is that you're just a townie, like in a lovingly way, a townie. You know, like, dude, we used to see like one of the My Chemical Romance dudes worked at the record store in Wayne. Like, we would see these guys everywhere. Like, one of them worked at Guitar Center, you know, like, and then all of a sudden we saw them on TV, and it was like, holy shit, you know. But like watching Gaslight get huge was a big part, and then being able to play with those guys and get to know them. But I think the moment for me that fucking solidified it all, I'm a storyteller. I'm sorry. I'm fucking sorry, Shane.
It's what this show's about. Storytelling.
So the moment for me that really fucking put a nail in the coffin of what I wanted to do for the rest of my life was Justin Townsend at Maxwell's. It was before Harlem River Blues came out. It was the Good Life tour. And it was just him and dude, Corey Yates, who's in Old Crow Medicine Show now, right? Just him and Corey Yates, and again playing that fucking Replacement song. Like that's what did it. And he was playing a bunch of songs off Harlem River Blues because he was just starting to write it, and a lot of the songs on The Good Life and Yuma were resonating so fucking hard. And I guess Midnight in the Movies, it just maybe, yeah, he was playing Midnight at the Movies, not Harlem River Blues, but it was on the Good Life tour circuit, and the light shined on Justin in a funny way. And that dude was a behemoth. He was a tall man. And his voice could command any fucking room, whether he was pushing it or whispering like pins and needles. Silence, right? And there was a moment where he was playing something, and I looked over and I realized like it's all about the songs and the stories. And that was like a massive moment for me. And I was there with my dad. I was maybe 20. I might have barely 21. I was barely 21, and that shit, like, that was it. And that's when it shifted from like playing in punk bands and writing punk songs or punk adjacent music to like writing songs. And that just changed the trajectory of my life. Like, of like going from being just a dude in a band drinking and partying and, you know, comically sex, drugs, and rock and roll, right? So like it's all about the song.
Yeah. And I mean, and if I may say so, on, you know, July 1960, I mean, the storytelling, you're telling, you know, you're apologizing for being a storyteller, but I mean, the storytelling in those songs is, you almost don't need music, because you're just telling a story, then, and you're capturing and you're bringing me along for the ride. And it's almost like sometimes I can separate and not hear the music and just hear the lyrics, and it's like, wow, holy shit, I just went somewhere for fucking 4 minutes and was not ready for it.
All right. So you want to know the whole story about that record?
Yeah.
All right. So that record is all based on the shit my friends said, like drunk at a bar. I would sit there with, like, we would sit outside of this bar called The Hub in Cincinnati, and at this bar called Longfellow. And we would sit, and it was a really good summer, right? You know, when you have one of those fucking great summers?
Yep.
And the weather was great. It wasn't too hot. And we found ourselves like, and I just moved to town and I was making friends, just bullshitting. And we would sit, and I just had my phone. My phone's always in my hands. I'm a workaholic, right? So I would just have my notes and like somebody would say something dumb, and then I would go home with that dumb statement, right? Like, and write the song. So that whole record is stories that I've imagined based off of a statement somebody said, or the stories that we told at the table, set in like this weird sonnet. They're all short. They're like, the challenge was to write them in 12 lines and to make it on a 4-track tape machine and try to get as cinematic and let these dumb stories do exactly what you said, take you to this place, like where everything is just an accompaniment. Everything is accompanying and setting up those dumb things my friend said, right? So like in How Fast to Run, sonically it drops when the statement of the hardest thing about where you're from is figuring out how fast to run. Or Jim's Ride Home builds up to this, because I know you've been waiting for the time to just move slow. Like we were talking about 12-step. I've been sober for a decade now. And my buddy we were talking about life, and he's like, dude, just, you don't have to take the express train. Like, let things slow down, right? Or I was walking down the street and I saw Darling, I Miss You So spray painted on a wall. And that whole song is, I fell asleep watching True Romance. That's why the Alabama reference. And I had this wild dream about driving to work and robbing a bank because I kept thinking about that wall. Like it was a positive graffiti, right? It wasn't like somebody's name. It was just Darling, I Miss You So, right? Or like my boss at the time came in a work brunch and was like, dude, I just want to get stoned and listen to Disintegration. And I went home and wrote, I just want to get stoned and listen to Love Song. You know, all that record is me telling stories about the stories my friends told me on a perfect summer night.
Taking that, like, was it, I mean, to create how you just explained it, to create it all, I mean, you clearly had a vision. Was it like, was there any struggle in completing the vision to, once it was done, you being okay with like, and not just okay, be like, all right, this is exactly what I wanted?
Yes and no. There's always a struggle. Nothing came easy. And in the world of modern recording, you can do punches and stuff. And we were using an old Tascam cassette machine, like similar to Springsteen in Nebraska. Like there was no punching, you know, like I had to sing that part straight. That's why you hear those big gasps of breath. That's why like lines will run softer, because I'm running out of air, running out of steam.
Well, that's what I love. I love, and so that's the thing too that I really want to do when I have artists, you know, by my place, is like they're being vulnerable, and that vulnerability, and that you can hear the struggle in their voice, what sometimes some of their songs mean so much. And it's just like, I love when the sincerity and the vulnerability of a song comes out when someone's not used to, you know, and I don't want to say not used to it, but just doing something different, especially in a smaller confined space, and it just being like the raw energy of it. I'm like, that's what I fucking love. The vulnerability in your voice, that little crack that you may want to scrub out of a song, but it needs to be there because it makes people feel what you're feeling when you're singing it.
Yeah. The whole point, man, dude, you can fucking phone in anything, right?
Yeah.
You can phone in your day at the work, like you can phone in if somebody comes into the shop and says like, hey man, I like The Cure. You can just be like, all right, cool, man, go listen to Depeche Mode. And here you go. Right? Like you can just phone that in, you know, like I can phone in helping the kid with their homework, right? But you can't phone in. I can't phone in. Dude, you can't fuck with, like, it's all for the sake of the song, I guess. I think that's what I'm trying to say. I shout this out, like, for the sake of the song. Like, yo, you listen to Chapel Rome?
I haven't gotten into it yet, but everybody comes.
Number one, you're fucking up.
Yeah.
Royally. Right? So I'm trying to think of, like, really good pop music, that, like, modern pop music. Have you listened to Olivia Rodrigo record?
No.
Dude, you're fucking up. That's two. All right. So that's all I listen to is Chapel Rome and The Descendants right now. but so, all right. Don't think twice. It's all right. Right. Bob Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
Right. How many fucking versions of that song?
75.
Easily. Right. 75 people have recorded Don't Think Twice. It's all
Yeah.
right. And none of them are ever going to be as good as Dylan's. Right.
Fact.
Fiction. Maybe to you. There's a Ramblin' Jack version from like the year after that came out that for some reason the way Jack sings, there's even more heartbreak, you know, in the verses especially, right? Like there ain't no use to sit and wonder why. Like Dylan nails it. And that song alone, like I notoriously hate Bob Dylan. But that song alone solidified Dylan in the songwriters like as the greatest, you know? But the way Jack hollers and you feel the sincerity of his voice in those statements, the heartbreak, it just echoes, right? And if like Blondie, right? You know Blondie.
I think I've heard of them before.
Right? Blondie.
Deborah Harry. Yes, I know Blondie.
Of course. I mean, like Dreaming is one of their biggest pop upbeat things, right? It is one of the best Blondie songs, right? Dreamin' of You, right? But if you listen to the words of that song and you fucking rip it as a sad folk song, or just show, if I'm trying to think who could sing that exactly like the Blondie record and it would just fuck you up. It'll just destroy you. You know, like it's such a sad song that you forget. And
well, I think that's the brilliance in music because there are so many things that
I think that's
Elliott Smith wrote happy songs to the saddest fucking tones in the world.
Yeah, dude, that's but again, it's like the sake of the song, like what I've been rambling about, like this for the sake of the song concept. Like with 1960, like that's just how it had to be. Like I couldn't make those songs into a loud rock and roll record. That's not how it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be these quiet lullabies or sonnets of just a quick story, you know, that was the move, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like the last 10 minutes was just this big old dumb tangent about nothing. Of me, I guess, trying just to say that. Yeah, you know, but it all, like, 1960, like, the idea of a quiet record like that came from that drive that I talked about listening to Nebraska for the first time and really seeing that Justin Townes Earl show, you know?
Yeah.
Like, coming back to the East Coast after, like, an early tour and then seeing a show in the back of a dive bar in Hoboken, you know? The magic of it all, you know? The magic of New Jersey.
There's a lot of magic here and people don't understand it. There is really, and I never can explain it to anyone. I'm like, there's just something about New Jersey that breeds creativity and breeds greatness. Like it really does.
Just let them talk shit about New Jersey all day.
Yeah. Don't come here. We don't need you.
No, you can go there, but you're going to fucking like bite your fucking tongue. Like, dude, like fucking peanut butter, New Jersey, right? Electricity, New Jersey. The suspension bridge, New Jersey. Literally the fucking bridge to get from Cincinnati, Ohio to Kentucky is called the Roebling Bridge. That motherfucker is from New Jersey. The guy that invented the cable for suspension bridges.
We breed greatness here.
Bruce fucking Springsteen, you know? Dude, like, and even like if they're not from New Jersey, like, dude, the moment that changed fucking songwriting in my eyes, like the history of music, the moment that changed songwriting happened in like your backyard, you know? Like Bob Dylan and Ramblin' Jack went and found Woody Guthrie at Greystone.
Yeah.
In fucking, what's that? That's not Whippany. That's in Morris Plains.
Yeah, Morris Plains.
Like, dude, the meeting of the minds, like, and the lineage of fucking storytelling and songwriting, like the old guard to the new, happened in fucking Morris County, New Jersey. And if that shit didn't happen, right? Dylan and Ramblin' Jack, right? Ramblin' Jack wouldn't have gone to fucking Chicago, right? And that leads to John Prine, right?
Mm-hmm.
right? Dylan wouldn't be there and who he is, right? And that fucking 86 is Springsteen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all that, right? And then that just keeps going like that. Like the moment, fucking New Jersey is the best. I'm sorry. But that moment, like that, you know, Bob Dylan, Woody Guthrie, and Ramblin' Jack in the same room telling stories. Like hearing the story of Woody Guthrie out of Woody Guthrie's mouth, right? That changed. Like that was like, that shit's as important as fucking homeboy shackled to the wall right in the New Testament, you know? Like that's the story of life, you know?
Yeah.
This is the most ridiculous interview I've ever done. I'm
Good.
sorry.
Well, I got a hard one for you here.
Shoot.
If no one ever heard your music before, and you can only play them one of your songs to kind of just send to them and say, hey, this is who I am as an artist, what one of your songs would you send to them?
Dude, that's a bonkers question.
I call it pick your favorite child.
I'm not going to pick my favorite child. I would say that the end all be all of songs that I've ever written, the one that needs to be heard. God, this is so fucked. I'm like on Spotify looking at the notebook. All right. So cockiness would be better, worse.
It's gonna get better before it all gets worse. Do the pictures, paint the buttons you think we all deserve. It's gonna get better before it all gets worse. Souvenirs that singing softly, simple hymns as they disperse. So lay down your guns, just let them all go. You find a reason why, just let them all know. You lost out on faith, last on the line, lost looking for the truth, something you'll never find. On your way to Memphis and Nashville, Tennessee, got lost in the bayous of Mississippi. Staying out late underneath the neon lights, down on Decatur, just trying to get it right. Oh, honey, I know. It's gonna get better before it all gets worse. Do the pictures, paint the bodies you think we all deserve. It's gonna get better before it just gets worse. Souvenirs
I think that's the best production I've ever done, right? I think it's a really beautiful soundscape. John Graber, who's a Long Island boy in LA, who's out now. I think he's in No Effects now. And Reed from We Are the Union, we worked on that one together, and that was a real massive turning point in me in writing songs. I think that one's important. I think The Reservoir is an important song that I've written. It's funny, man. There's so many chapters in like we talking loud or we talking quiet. Honestly, I think Me You in Mexico is probably my go-to. It's on 1960. I think it sums up my life. I think it sums up the feeling, like collection-wise, like just listen to 1960. I think that's the best interpretation of who I am, who I was, and who I want to be in music and in songwriting, really just in writing. Dude, I don't want to pick my favorite child. It's How Fast to Run.
Yeah.
That's really it. I think How Fast to Run is like, you want to know what I do, listen to this song.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking, because it's one of those things that like I look at, you're sitting down in front of a producer or, major big guy, you're sitting in front of David Geffen and you can only play him one of your songs, like, and it's like, all right, this is the one that I'm going to play for you, because this.
Dude, if I was sitting in front of David Geffen, I would honestly play him that fucking Misfits cover. I would play him Astro Zombies. Fuck, I would learn Chapel Rome's Good Luck Babe on the spot and be like, here you go, bud. You can kiss 100 boys in bars. Done. Half the world don't even write their own songs,
Yep.
No, I if somebody was like, hey man, you got this opportunity to fucking go on tour and open up for Bob Dylan and Bruce Springsteen and the Ghost of Joe Strummer, I would play them How Fast to Run and say, this is where I'm at.
Okay.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
That's not true. I guess it's not. There's a song on the Kilograms record called Old Dog that's the working title, is Old Dog. It's probably the one. But you'll hear that whenever I finish this record.
Okay. So
it'll probably
we're not
change.
going to pick that. We're not going to pick that then, because we gotta play something for people that you have out already. So.
All right, yeah, let's do How Fast to Run.
Okay, we're locking it. I locked it in.
Right. Locked in. Final answer.
Yeah, final answer.
All right, Reg.
What's the last song you cried to?
I cried earlier this year in July. The long and short of it is that my partner has cancer.
Condolences.
And we're kicking its butt. We're doing radiation's done. We're doing immunotherapy. I was driving back. God, I'm gonna fucking hear some dirty business. We pretty much found out. We took her to the hospital because she was essentially bleeding out, and the kid was home. They're 11, and I was listening to. I got Liz set up at the first hospital, and I came home to make sure Nora was good, make sure the kid was good, and I got a call saying, you got to get back here. They're moving me to another hospital. And the new Hot Water Music record came out. And there's a song on it called After the Impossible.
Mm-hmm.
And I was driving from our house in the Pleasant Ridge neighborhood of Cincinnati, Ohio, texting Jay, who produced 1960 and who does Kilograms with me. And I was like, yo, I need you to take care of the kid. Like, I need you to drop whatever you're doing. Like, I need you, bud. And he did. He fucking got out of bed at 3:30 in the morning and drove and sat on the couch and made sure the kid wasn't alone. But After the Impossible played, and the line is like, I will wait for you in rain, and I just fucking lost it. It was a fucking, and later that night, Liz ended up getting like 4 blood transfusions. And the next day we pretty much found out she had like cancer that was fucking her up real bad. And I lost it that day. And I'm the kind of guy, man, like I don't think I've cried, and outside of that, I'm pretty stern. My old man never showed his emotions. My grandfather never showed his emotions. It takes a lot for me to lose it. But that, hearing that song in that moment at 3 a.m, going 110 on the highway, to get to the hospital, I just fucking lost it.
Yeah, but it was there when you needed it, right? And that's
And that is why I fucking write songs, and that is why music exists.
yep, because it's there when you need it, and it doesn't judge you.
It is there for exactly that. Songs are meant to be heard when they need to be heard.
Yeah.
They will fucking change your life. That's it.
Yeah.
And like back to childhood, like we walked in at Skate and Surf 2001. We caught this band called Too Short Notice playing like a side stage. And that shit opened up the world to me. Some dumb song called Stitch that I still love to death showed me that there was this community. And I am now 25 years into that community, and that community has helped me pay my bills for the better part of 20 years. From walking into a show and seeing a fucking band play, you know, that song, I needed to hear that song. I needed to know that shit existed then. And, you know, going back to the start of this, man, like you having an all ages space in Northern New Jersey, that shit's going to change somebody's life.
I want it to be, you know, my goal in doing and creating it. It was to have someone that was my age that first fell in love with music and realized that it's possible to create music, realize that it's possible to do anything, realize that you can be in a room filled with strangers, but as I say, they're not strangers, they're just friends you haven't met yet, because you're all there for the same reason. And to have that feeling and to also have that education. One of my favorite things is to educate the younger kids that are coming into the store of, you know, like how you said before, where you can phone it in with, oh, I like The Cure. Okay, here's Depeche Mode, move on. No, I take you down the history. Oh,
Dude,
like here you go. You like The Cure? Okay, that's awesome. I love The Cure. Got Cure posters hanging up in the store. Like, yes, okay. But here, this is where we're going to go. We're going to start in all these other places, these little pockets of new wave. Oh, this is where this came from. You should try this. And you don't have to go all in. And I do that. Like, hey, listen, you're looking for some? Listen, it's a $5 record, but you should really, really go on this. I could push you to the $100 record over here of fucking, you know, Joy Division or something. But no, you got to hear this one. This is the one you really got to try.
dude, and as a kid going to like Compact Discworld in Wayne,
Yeah.
like, and one of the guys now is like a friend, the guy that managed it, but like when those My Chem kids were working there, like that's how I found out about the Smiths. You know, granted Morrissey's an asshole, but that's how I found out about the Smiths. That's how I found out about the Misfits. You know, like,
yeah, the record store guy was my guy. That's how I found out about everything, and that's what I it was just, I had this whole education of music, and I was like, man, I want to be that for somebody else.
I take the kid to the record store. We haven't done it in a couple weeks because we've been real busy with life, but we got $40. You're allowed to get a record. I'm allowed to get a record. And then we pull something based on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
Not able to hear it, right? And it's real wild because like we're both pulling things like the kid's real wild because they love modern pop music like Chapel and Ricky Montgomery, but they're also realizing they're a fucking Riot Girl.
Yeah.
And like they're starting to discover hardcore, political hardcore. And I catch them like 1 week we'll get a Cure record or a Smiths record. And then the next week they're like, yo, I want this Minor Threat record. And I'm like, cool, let's fucking go. Right.
Yeah.
But then we end up buying whatever used record just on the cover. And it's the best fucking thing because we're discovering like killer music on the regular.
Well, that's how we used to discover it. Like that's my era of growing up in the 80s and 90s, you know, being in high school in the early 90s. And like, and I try to explain it too to, you know, younger people that come into the store, like, you know, unfortunately there's this awesome thing out there that is the Spotify's and the Apple Musics, and you have all this music at your fingertips. I go, and that's awesome. I go and listen, I use it. I search out music and I try to find new shit to listen to. I go, but the biggest downside is you don't have to take the time to fall in love with anything. Like when I was buying CDs for $20 fucking, I bought one CD a month because I had $20. And if that CD that I bought based on the cover or based on one song that I may have heard and the rest was shit, guess what happened? I had to listen to it over and over again
Dude,
until
American Hi-Fi, bud.
until I fell in love with it because I had to.
Yeah, man. The thing about records and record stores and music, like going back to what you and I both just said, like, dude, you find that shit when you need to hear it, and like I'm watching a kid figure out who they are in a really weird world to figure out who you are in a really weird time.
Yeah.
And I'm watching this kid like fall in love with electric guitars and drums and bass guitars, and would also fall in love with synths and pop music and theatery stuff. And, you know, like the kid steals my 7-second shirt on the regular. And I'm not mad about it because at the end of the day, like, I stole my old man's 7-second shirt.
Yeah.
You know, and the shirt that kid's stealing is the one that I stole from my dad. I still got it, you know, and that shit's important. Finding who you are via, you know, finding the soundtrack of your life. And what you're doing, like, I can't wait to get home and come and visit the shop, man. Like, knowing, and I'm sorry that I keep, like, gushing about you. I don't even know you. I've never been to your shop. But, like, I grew up in that neighborhood, and I'm real fucking stoked that you're there.
Thank you, man. I'm stoked that I'm there, too.
That place is a weird, you know, like, when I grew up, it was like the heart of the opioid epidemic.
Oh, yeah.
And that shit saved my life. And it's still fucked out there. Like, I'm still getting calls, like, every other week that somebody I went to high school with, like, OD.
Listen,
you know,
Route 23 here is known as the heroin highway.
Dude, it is the heroin. It's also the strip club highway in that part of the world, too. I'm not sure why.
That's Route 15. That's Route 15 is
did it change?
Yeah, Route 15 is the that's the strip club capital of the world where you're, you know.
I just saw you know, Happy Bar 1, 2, 3, and 4 used to be on fucking 23. I'm joking. Tell every girl I dated in high school I said, "What's up?" when you drive 23. That's horrible. Sorry. No, but like, I probably would have died way. I wouldn't have made even the chance to sober up if there wasn't an all ages space in that area. And like I said, I don't know you. I've never been to the store, but just like Googling the shop and seeing what you're doing, like, you're doing fucking good things.
Thank you, man.
So thank you.
Yeah. Hey, listen, if it wasn't for people like you and for musicians that, you know, I always feel need more people to hear, you know, this show built a store and built a venue space, like, and, you know, I did it all without commercials. I did it all without, you know, I did it with the support of, you know, the best person I've ever met in my life, and that's my wife. Just celebrated 17 years of
That's huge.
marriage last week, and, you know, been together 20 years, and without her, none of this would have been possible. The show wouldn't have been possible. The store wouldn't, and it was just her constant support of, like, yeah, no, start your fucking show, get it out there, you know, more, and people just always supporting me, being like, dude, fucking, you love music so much, you know so much about it, you find all this shit that no one's ever fucking heard before, and when you share it with people, everybody's like, fuck, how do I not know about this? And it's like, I just want to bring people that are talented and have a safe place for them to play and show their talents and be like, fuck yeah, you're good, like, keep fucking going, don't worry about it, like, just keep fucking going, keep writing songs. You know, yeah, if you got to play covers in the bar one fucking night, that's fine, but don't do it in my space. You know, like, I want to hear what you have to say. That's what I want. You know, that's what I'm promoting. That's what, like, originality. Like, just tell me what you're saying. That's don't play me somebody else's song because I already know what they're saying. I want to hear you because I know it's in you and I know you got it. And what you have to say is just as valid and important as someone who already has a fucking hit song that they sang.
So tell me how you really feel.
Yeah.
Nail on that. I like, can we just end this now? Because that was perfect. Like, you summed up life.
Yeah.
We're good. And punch it. The Bible Part 3. Thank you very much. Have a great night.
The New Testament.
The newest testament.
Yeah.
The new wave testament.
Amen, brother.
The Father, the Son, and the Robert Smith.
Yeah. Love him to death, even though he looks like a Long Island medium right now. But
that's why I love him.
Yeah, because he doesn't give a fuck.
Dude, you know how much that dude doesn't give a fuck? Do you know how they announced that new record?
Yeah.
They put one fucking flyer up in front of the bar they played their first show at.
Yeah.
That's it. That was the announcement. No press release.
Nope. He doesn't care. This is what I do.
Does not give a fuck. Plays by their rules. And still is making killer records 35 years later. Name a fucking Cure miss.
There's not like I have conversations with people who tell me that like they're the biggest Cure fans, and then I'll throw out like 413 at them or something, or the self-titled Cure album that came. I'm like, those could be two possibly their best albums. Like,
and it came out in the latter quarter of their career.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah. Not even the latter half, like the latter eighth.
Like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
10 years ago, and they're fucking amazing.
I'm excited for the new one.
Yeah, I'm excited for any time he's ready to do something. So
yeah, same.
But yeah, so we are past that witching hour. Before we move to our final segment is a weekly 3 segment where you, the artist, will tell me 3 things that you're listening to that you would like people to check out. Then I tell you 3 things I'm listening to that you'd like people to check out. But before we get there, I'd love to give you an opportunity right now to tell everybody how to find everything that you're doing, how to pay attention to what you do and everything you have going on, and with the new Kilograms record coming out hopefully soon, just so everybody can always stay up to date. So whatever handles you got, or wherever you can find music, or wherever people can purchase stuff from you, because again, I'm tired of saying it on the show, but I say it all the time. People listening, if you have an opportunity, whether it's $1 to buy one song or buy a fucking t-shirt, you have no idea how much it helps an artist and how much it helps them to keep creating music, and the stuff that made you fall in love with that artist to begin with. They can continue to do it by a $20 t-shirt or $1, anything you can. That's the biggest help you can do for an artist nowadays.
That's the move. All the handles are at Sammy KNJ, KAYNJ is in New Jersey. Bandcamp, Spotify, it's all there. And the band is called the Kilograms, and everything is at the Kilograms, except for Twitter. That's the Kilograms band. Metric. I don't get it. We got a 7-inch that's out now and shipping in 2 weeks, something like that. First EP's out. There's a benefit comp out. And then July 1960 is out too. And you can get that if you're in the UK and Europe via Engineer Records. And if you are in the States, just buy it from Andy at Sell the Heart and tell him that I sent you. And he'll probably say hi because he's a real nice guy. And we'll be on the road. We're in Jersey at the end of the year. It's not announced yet, but we'll be back with the Kilograms. And I'll play New Jersey solo when I fucking feel like it.
Well, I hope you feel like doing it in Booton. So
I would love to do in Booton. I really would. I just got to figure out when I can make a trip with life and work. And
yeah,
I got a lot of Kilograms stuff. I have November off, and it's my first month of like room to breathe. And
we all need that space. Yeah. Don't take it for granted.
Next year, Kilograms are going to be busy. We're starting to take some offers for midlife crisis ska band and a midlife crisis tour van. I'm stoked. I'm real grateful. I can't fucking argue. But,
no. That's awesome, man.
I didn't have playing in a band, a new band actively touring at 35 on my bingo card. Yeah, a new band with a boss tone and a bouncing soul. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Not on my bingo card.
Well, you won bingo, so
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's a good pot, man.
Awesome. Well, we're in a final segment. It's our weekly 3s. It's 3 things that you're listening to that you would like people to check out. You give your 3, then I give my 3.
My 3, I'm listening to a band from Chicago called Soft Kill. I found out about them literally 4 days ago, and I can't stop listening. The kids said asked me if it was The Cure. It's that good.
Wow.
I'm listening to a man named Joe Strummer and his band, the Mescaleros.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to that shit just about every day. This week I'm listening to Streetcore. Last week I was listening to X-Ray. I am listening to Chapel Roan, and I don't give a fuck what you have to say.
I didn't say anything.
In general, everybody. I think Chapel Roan is amazing. I think her views on gender, on sexuality, on being who you are fucking beautiful, and it is a goddamn perfect message to be said in the mainstream. Playing by your own rules is a cool thing, and I think Chapel is fucking slaying. What you got?
So my 3 for this week, the first one is a band called The Dose. The name of the album is Saline. 2-piece rock band, kind of along the lines of Royal Blood type stuff, just in your face, heavy rock, 2 guys just fucking you up with their music.
That rules.
The next is a band called Pillow Queens. Name of the album is called Name Your Sorrow. It is 4 rockin' fucking chicks that kind of create a 4-piece Tegan and Sarah vibe, like early Tegan and Sarah, like the Con type of Tegan and Sarah. Really awesome. Check them out. And last but not least, I went back and started listening to just everything this man has done. Will Oldham.
Oh yeah.
Some people may know him as Bonnie Prince Billy or Palace, but Songs of Love and Horror, I have been ripping that for. I don't know why I needed my soul to be ripped out of my body this week, but I did, and I just all over it, absolutely all over it. So those are my 3 for this week.
Yeah, that shit slaps.
Yeah. But Sammy, before we bid adieux, I just want to say thank you, not only for being here, but thank you for being complimentary of me, but thank you for creating the music that brought us together. Without that, just how we say, song finds you. Well, songs find me. I find the artist, and then we get this shit going. Like you're great at what you do. Keep going, keep moving forward, because as you said, you didn't have it on your bingo card, but shit's starting to fucking go great. And I just wish you all the best and all the greatest success at what you're doing. All the love goes out to your partner. We're here for you. You ever need anything, ever need to talk or tell me a story, man, I'm here. So
dude,
you got my
I got your phone number. We're fucked. I'm just gonna be sending you records like, yo, you know about the shit? You know about the shit?
Hey, that's why you got my number. So
yeah, I'm fucking stoked. Yeah. I'm stoked. And please send more top 3s. Like, I'm gonna go tear into all of those tonight. Well, 2 of the 3, because I'm always in the third realm.
Yeah, no, fucking do everything you can to listen to music, and that's one of my favorite things that I get to do here is share new music with people, share new artists, and I love when people find something. And I tell people all the time, when it comes to the 3s or the artists that I have here, listen, you may not find something you like, you may not find something you hate, but you're gonna find something, and that's all that matters. So
it's all that fucking matters.
Yeah. But thank you again, and everybody out there in the world, you know what time it is now. It's time to go out, listen to Sammy Kay, and have a great fucking time.
So I've seen it before 1,000 times. The way you light that cigarette inside my mind. Now I'm just hoping for that slim chance. Yeah, that slim chance, yeah, that you'll say yes. Drinking coffee while the sun goes down.
Thanks again for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HiddenTracks99. Also, send all your submissions myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Tune in next week. You may find your new favorite band, and don't forget to go out and have a great fucking time.